If you look at the production of the vehicles, it is more than 2.25 crores region. About 56 lakhs is exported and the rest is the domestic sales. This is a very huge number. The government of India is committed to making Indian automotive industry globally competitive, to make it as an export hub. India itself is a huge market, but we would also like the R&D, the prototyping, the testing, manufacturing, the entire value chain of the automobile industry to be set up. And we are moving in that direction. Coming to the electric mobility, speakers before me have identified that we have reached the aim of net zero by 2070. And by 2030, we have to reduce our carbon emissions by 1 billion tons of emissions. Then the Panchamrit, which has been laid out by our Honorable Prime Minister, for the 5 goals of decarbonization. And we are on the road to that. And electric mobility is an important part of it. Till 5th of January, about 5.2% vehicles sold in India were electric vehicles. And this number has risen from last year, it was about 2.6%. So the growth has almost doubled in numbers. Of course, most of the growth is coming from two-wheelers. We produce a large number of two-wheelers, but then also in buses. The Government of India has launched several schemes to promote the manufacture of electric vehicles in India. And one of them, the first one of them was the FAME scheme, the faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles in India. After FAME 1, some lessons were learned, and FAME 2, the phase 2 was launched in April 2019. The FAME scheme is a demand incentive scheme. So as you know that the price of electric vehicles is a little higher than the ICE vehicles. And upfront subsidies offered to the consumers so that the cost reduces. And FAME scheme is geared towards shared mobility, towards public transportation. So a lot of subsidy for buses, because a large number of people use buses. And if you look at pollution levels in Delhi and also in the nearby areas, one of the aims is to reduce the emission levels in these big cities we have. So in buses, FAME offers up to 40% of the cost of the vehicle as subsidy. Up till now, about 7,000 buses have been subsidized under the scheme. And lots of them are on road. They are in various stages of coming. And I believe that in the next 1 year, all of these buses will be on road. And we have more plans to incentivize buses. Then, if we talk of public transportation, then electric three-wheelers. In three-wheelers, more than 50% of the sales are drawn from electric vehicles. ICE vehicles are little less than the number. In buses, about 17% buses are electric buses sold in India. But in three-wheelers, it is 54%. In two-wheelers, its number is less than 5%, but it's rising very rapidly. Last year, it was half of it, about 2.5 to 6%. So we realize that demand incentive is one way to increase the number of electric vehicles. But the other way is help on the supply side. We must look at the manufacturers. How we can help the OEMs. And before I forget, my friends might get an important point. That electric vehicles are good. But what about the energy? What about the electricity which is being drawn from all of these? Whether it is clean or not?
From 3.5% of our target to now close to 75% of the target in time span of less than 2 years. 3.5 to 75. That is the change. In buses, amazing. Mahua is sitting right there. She has been at the center of the feed. You know, we started with 5,450 buses that moved on. And what we could establish was amazing. That if the right model is adopted, right? Contractual model is adopted. Probably the cost of, why probably, definitely, the cost of buses were exhibited. The entire cost was found to be less than that of the diesel, CNG, and any of the other ones. That was amazing. Because then most of the states, rather than fretting away our energy on 62 odd cities, we decided that we must focus on 9 cities alone. We must go for a grand challenge. Ask them first whether you are interested in it to our initiative or not. Only 5 of them exhibited their interest, and with this, these were the cities where the population was 4 million plus, and that is how there's 5,450 buses in first go, and that gave us tremendous confidence to us that we can take the national electric bus program to a scale of 50,000. That is what the target we set for ourselves. Now with that, another second tranche was for 6,6465 buses. That was the second time number, and the third one is moving forward, that is for 4,700. So these are the big numbers that we are going ahead with. These are really big numbers. These are really big numbers. Because in South America, last year, the number of electric buses that were registered was 1,000. US and Canada combined together was 1,500. Entire Europe, all the 24 countries that have taken to electrification, it is 2,300 odd kind of buses. That is the registration last year. So this is the kind of thing that happened. Chief Secretary's conference, why is that the vehicles on them should not be like that? They should be also like that. Why public transport system should not be upscale? It should be upscale. So probably that is the approach that is being taken, and the best part today is, whenever you attempt to bring about a global disruption into the country, what is needed is probably the political leadership's commitment. That is there, it is sacrosanct, they are just by us. You need those who are into policy framing, policy makers, they have to be also synergized into it. Those who are into the implementation task of it, Ministry of Heavy Industries, Ministry of Path, Mode, everybody is kind of lined up, and not to miss out the industry players. Sushant, industry has to be with us. Without that it won't work. So when you say you stand by a nation, by the nation, when you say that you want to electrify the country, you bring about electrification of transport responsibly, that means a big thing. And we all know it all well, you see. Which industries survive? Industries that are committed to quality. Industries which are absolutely, they develop control over the supply chain. Industry that are globally competitive. Industry that is into ethical values. So an industry that is able to combine all 4 of them together, they are the only ones which survive.
तो इस तरह से आपने सुना, सुधेंदु सिन्हा जी ने सभी इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को ये आगाह किया कि इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल का ज़माना है और उसे लेकर सभी लोगों को आगे आने की ज़रूरत है। नेशन फर्स्ट। पूरे वर्ल्ड में भारत का जो वाहन उद्योग है वो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल की ओर जा रहा है। आज़ादी की अमृत गाथा के आरजेएस आज़ादी की अमृत गाथा का 116वां कार्यक्रम 12 जनवरी 2023 को ऑटो एक्सपो की थीम पर आधारित किया गया ग्लोबल इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन मोबिलिटी समिट, ये सियाम द्वारा आयोजित किया गया। सोसाइटी फॉर इंडियन ऑटोमोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स सियाम के द्वारा ये ग्लोबल इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन मोबिलिटी समिट 12 जनवरी 2023 को एक्सपो सेंटर में ऑटो एक्सपो के दरमियान आयोजित किया गया। और अब एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर प्रशांत बनर्जी एड्रेस कर रहे हैं ग्लोबल इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन मोबिलिटी समिट को। सियाम के एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर।
because of the schedule readjustment, you made it. So many thanks to you. And Bhimanwar sir, again, despite you landed at 3 a.m. in the morning, you are here. We appreciate, sir. The commitment of Niti Aayog in policy formulation, the industry ministry's commitment in seeing the industry implementation of the policies, and state level, Bhimanwar sir, the implementation of the last mile registration of the vehicles and road tax related issues are commendable. Mike, you are a friend of SIAM and you are the leader. You have been attending various electrification related discussions, discourse, and you have been always helping us. So your presence actually adds value to the discussion. And my friend Sushant, the electric mobility chair, we are very thankful to the August gathering here. And I'm looking forward for a very, very exciting time as our president who had to leave for another engagement. But his, direction in defining SIAM's advocacy policy for long term. And he has summarized it that we have entered into and committed ourselves to the sustainable mobility advocacy concoction, the 10-point initiatives wherein we are targeting first, the road safety is our priority for sustainable mobility, and you will be seeing action on road safety. But notwithstanding the sustainable earth requirement point of view, our initiatives, electrification, and of course hydrogen initiatives coupled with fleet modernization and recycling is seen in 4 important decarbonization initiatives. So one is electrification, which in Hindi national language translates Vidyutikaran. So today is the unveiling of the same initiative, and you will be hearing more under this key messaging. So we are extremely thankful to the August gathering present here, and you will be seeing the very electrified actions on the electrification journey of India. So we are very proud of your presence. Thank you very much. With this, may I hand over the next proceedings to the organizers.
Thank you, sir. It is now time to felicitate our guests with a token of our appreciation. May I request Mr. Sushant Nayak to kindly felicitate our guests. To Dr. Hanif Qureshi,